Hi everyone, so we're just going to run through one of the little bauble videos. So this is the card that we're going to be doing, or something similar to this one. So you've got the little snowman and a little bit of masking, and also I'm going to show you the northern lights because I've been asked for that quite a few times. But also we put the little funfair in the back of this as well, which I really love. So this is the one we're going to be making. We're going to be using a couple of elements from the pine forest, some of the seasonal branches, a little bit of the festive fir cones, the festive scene, and we're going to be using the fairground out of this one. Christmas companions, so we've got the little snowman and the deer. And then you could either use the round or the pointy bauble, but the reason I've gone for the round is just because you've got a little bit more room in that just for your scene. So if you want to do a bigger scene, then I would go with your round bauble. Okay, so first thing, we've stuck the stencil on the front as we usually do with the removable adhesive. And then we've rubbed on the back with the wax paper. So just take this, and what you will see, I've already started this, but what you will see is the outline of your design coming through. So then you just take your stencil, your embossing tool, and you just work your way around until you've pushed that cardstock into that stencil. Okay, so if you do have trouble with this, you can just go to your window or use a light box so you can see the design coming through. Once you've done this, we're going to put in our little snowman. So he's a really happy chappy. So I'm just going to ink him up. Don't need to bother about the little snowballs at the bottom really, because we're not going to use all of him because he's going to be going into the corner. So it's always important, I think, to sort of stamp outside of your actual shape as well. So try not to just have everything fitting in exactly. Have them coming out over the edges, because it just gives you the look that there's actually more going on. So you're looking into a little scene. So just stamp him down. Okay, and then what I've done, I've created a little mask here. So because most of the snowman's solid and we know we're going to be doing in black, we're just going to cut out a little shape here. Now you can see I've cut off the arms, cut off the end of the nose, so really all you want to do is what I've done here. But make sure that when you do, can you see on my little cutout there, we've got a little black line. That will just ensure that when you're colouring over the top of your snowman, that you've got as close to the actual image as you can, because you don't want sort of a white halo effect going around the outside. Now, because this is black, we don't need to worry what we stamp over the top, because it'll always look like the snowman's in front of it, because whatever you stamp will be paler. Once we've done this, we're just going to take a piece of paper and we're just going to cut a little hill shape in this. So it's important really to get your snowman in first, or the foreground of your design in first. And then we know how much room we've got at the top here to put our little scene in. So I'm going to go about here. Now, to do your northern lights, just a dry baby wipe over your finger. And I'm going to go with the yellow first. So what we want to do is give ourselves a sort of S shape, a sort of swirl. Because if you look at them, they do tend to sort of just swirl in the sky like that. So just go around with your yellow. So little circular motions in a little sort of curve shape. Okay, move your finger to a clean part on your baby wipe, and then we're going to go in with green tea. So the first colour was canary, and you can see I'm working a little bit of this off as well as we do, because we don't want to end up with too much colour. So I'm sort of following that little shape that we just did before. So just sort of scooting around the edges of it. And keep it a little bit darker at the bottom as well. Okay, so once we've done those two colours, so that's green tea and canary, we're going to use a little bit of peony as well, followed by just a touch of the archival. So we just want that nice pink going in there as well. And then a little bit on the other side. So we're sort of encasing those, the green and the yellow in the pink. Okay, and once you've done that, just take a little bit of your black and we're just going to sort of edge this so it gives us that night sky look as well. So the northern lights really sort of shine. So make sure you do your bauble topper as well. Okay. So actually it's fairly easy to do once you sort of do that sort of swirly motion. So once we've got that, now we're going to put our little fairground in. So let's just move those out of the way. And then we're just going to start to build up. I always like to put the tents in first. Now be careful, because if you've got quite a lot of ink on there, sometimes you can slip because it's still a bit wet. Okay, so let's get the little Ferris wheel in. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this behind there. So I've just off stamped it. And if I stamp over the top of where we've just gone, can you see it's gone behind? So it gives you that little bit more dimension as well. So you can see I'm not actually stamping all of these. So some of this is going to be behind this hill in the distance. So along this hill you could use the little sledge girl. There's so many different things you can sort of, you know, put into play here because they all mix and match so well. And then what we're going to do is just stamp a few little trees. So I'm off stamping first, and then we're just going to go at the back, just stamp over the whole thing. So you're building up that dimensional look. So just dot those on, just like that. So always remember just to off stamp it first before you take it onto your card, so everything looks like it's actually behind the little fairground that we've just done. So once you've done that, we can actually peel this away, and that gives you your nice clean hillside there. And you can see, but just by keeping that nice and bright in the middle and then darkening the edges, it really, really lifts it. So the next thing I'm going to put in is the little reindeer. And this is going to go down the bottom. So we're going to have this peeking out from behind the snowman, which is why we're just going to leave that snowman mask in place until we've worked around him. Okay, so I'm going to take him just about here. Okay, so you can see he's gone over the mask. So at the moment it's going to look a little bit messier because we've got the mask still in place. So the other thing I'm going to do is put the little lantern in. So he, on this set, he has the Christmas companions, he has a little lamp that it can hold on to. So a touch of yellow, and we're just going to put this about here, just to give this a bit of brightness as well, a bit of Christmas cheer. A little bit more red. So canary first, then a little bit of the camellia. And again, if you're stamping over this straight away, just be a little bit careful because the ink can be a bit wet. So just be careful that you don't slip on there with it. Okay, so there's our little lantern. And then we're just going to edge around the outside of this. So touch of the archival ink. And we're just going to start from the top. And gradually we're just going to work a little bit of ink all the way around the outside. Now remember, we can go over the top of this snowman, and it really will make him pop if you sort of colour around him like this. So I'll give it a little bit more of dark ink at the bottom. Okay, and then once we've done that, we can then peel off our little snowman. And can you see how the ink has got exactly right up to that snowman, and that's because we've cut that mask that little bit smaller when we've done it. Okay, but what I am going to do is just add a touch of colour just on the very, very edge of him there, just so that when we take this stencil off, you're going to have a nice sort of smooth line going all the way around. So once we've done that, we can take that off, and any ink residue, any glue residue, we can just brush off there like that. But you can see just by inking at the bottom here, we've just continued that line of the bauble as well. Now, if you want to do anything else, what we can do is add some of the seasonal branches. So this you don't have to do if you don't want to, you just put a bow on this. And it's good to say as well, actually, you don't have to emboss this as well if you don't want to. So when we ink this branch up, I'm just going to ink up the very bottom. Sort of forgot myself there for a second because I don't want to use all of it. So I'm just going to take it up here, and then we're just going to start to stamp. So we've not inked the whole thing. Done it again. Okay, so let's just ink up the very, very top. And then just start to fill in just down the side, just there. Now you can put a little bit the other side if you want to as well, but it's important to let the ink run out as well on the stamp. So let's just use the very, very tips of the berries as well. So this is all from the Seasonal Branches set. So let's just have a little bit of berry just going up there like that. And then from the festive fir cones, we're just going to put a little bit of holly. So let's just put one this side. Okay. I'm not going to put much else on there now because I think we've actually got enough. And then we've just done a little bow here. So just choose where you want your little bow to go. So that's entirely up to you. So somewhere at the top there, like that. And then before we finish, we just want to put a little bit of glitter on this snowman. So I'm just using my Quickie glue pen. And maybe a little bit on this heart. So you don't have to be too neat with this. Just make sure you give it a nice bit of glue everywhere there. And then what we'll do is pop that into our glamour dust. So this you'll find on the website as well. But it really just gives it that little bit of sparkle that you want there, like that. And then last but not least, one of my favourite things is the glossy accents. So we're just going to put a little bit glossy accents over that lantern. So don't be afraid to sort of give that a dollop. It's going to need to sort of dry for quite a while. And then when it's dry, all of the excess glitter will just brush off there. So there's our finished little card. And I hope you found that useful. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.